is looking a little different. We had to change the format simply because we don't want to have any copyright issues with YouTube. So no, we're no longer going to play a sample of the music because we don't want no problem in the YouTube streets. So we're just going to talk about the videos. Of course, that's what we're doing anyway. We definitely will have the videos in the description below. If you like, you can look at them after we're done talking, and that way you'll have the song and you'll understand what we're talking about.
Right. So still music therapy, y'all.
Yeah, it's still music therapy, just us now.
So speaking of, since today is Saturday, what does that mean?
It's Second Chance Saturday, guys.
Second chance, and where it goes, love,
break. It's a hard.
And then you decide if you want to love again.
Right. That's what we talk about on Second Chance Saturdays. Whether or not you, when people fall out or there's infidelity or some issues, whether or not you want to, give that person a second chance or third chance, or I've heard some songs that said even 1,000 chances. But it's just about whether you want to forgive, and so we're going to talk about the videos first, and then we'll get into the lessons. Okay.
All right. So what are the songs for today? Well, just a double feature today, right?
Oh yeah, it's a double feature.
Oh.
It's 2 songs with the same title, exact same title. One was released in 1991. Millennial.
Hey, 1991, baby. Shout out.
That's the year she was born. And then we got one that was released in 2007, which is Millennial Time.
I know that song.
Yeah, she knows this one. The first song is Please Don't Go by Boys to Men. Okay. Like I said, that was released in 1991. As far as Boys to Men, they were the group crooners. It was a very mellow song. Basically, on the premise of like not wanting them to leave. But in this particular song, which I felt is different from the Tank version, is that you really don't know what he did back in the day. All he says that we can work it out. Okay. He says we can work it out, about temptation and all of this, but basically, for her to stay, let's get through this situation or whatever. That was in 91. And Tank in 2007 was like, got busted. Leave a comment.
Cold hard busted.
Leave a comment if you ever got busted. Tank was busted. His lady friend found his numbers in his car, and then he even had them marked with stars. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what they did for that star. But he rushed.
Told all his business.
Yeah, he told it. You knew what happened on his Please Don't Go. He gets to the house. She ain't hearing it. I'm like, Tank. She saw the numbers with the stars. She called the women. That's what he said. She called the women with the numbers with the stars. So he ain't finna get her. I don't know. I doubt if there's a chance that he'll get her back. But in his song, he's preaching, to the others, it wasn't worth it to see her cry. It wasn't worth to see, for him to lose her.
Mm-hmm.
That little cheating he did just wasn't worth it, know.
Exactly.
And so in his song is basically warning others, whereas in Boys to Men, they were just basically talking to her, just saying, hey, we can work it out. Come back.
And let me tell you, Boys to Men is slick. They were slick back in your day. Now I see why it was so much trouble back in your day. These boys were slick. Because I didn't know this song. Like, I know Boys to Men, but I didn't know this specific song. So when I knew it was coming up for today's session, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a listen while I was cleaning up. And I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds like a love song. Like, it sounds sweet. And so then I actually took the time to look at the lyrics, and I was like, oh, hold up. Oh, these boys are singing. And then how it starts off with the bedroom voices, he already trying to play. Like, and what I also thought when I heard the Boys to Men version was like, it's like a general, antibiotic kind of song. Like if it's whatever you feel like the issue is, that's what he apologizing for. He ain't telling you what he apologizing for. But whatever you feel like you may know that he did, he's sorry.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of vibe I got from the Boys to Men version. And the Tank version is, the vibe I got from that is, most millennial men is, you know, that baby please, I know you caught me, but baby please. That's what I got from Tank's version. You know, like, I really wanted to count how many times he said please don't go. Like it was like,
but she leaving.
Yeah, like
she leaving. I'm sorry, she leaving. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, and in that one, you know, just like most, you know, and women, I'm pretty sure you guys can, you know, please leave a comment. I will be very interested to see, you know, if you ever been in a situation where you caught your significant other, hopefully your past significant other, but even if current, no judging, how did you catch them in their life? Because it's like, millennial men is, it's so easy, like you don't even have to go looking. Like it literally comes.
I'm gonna tell you what, not to interrupt you, but what's hurting the millennial men is that the Gen X men didn't have technology.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm just schooling my daughter. Our generation, when we was running and doing our thing, we had pagers and I mean cell phones wasn't a thing. You kind of didn't know where your man was unless you know you paged him.
You sound like the 1500s.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you why it was probably easier back then compared to now, because there was no cell phones, there was no instant connection to anyone back then. I mean, even if you paid someone, they still had to go and find a phone, and then they can just say, "Well, yeah, I couldn't find a phone." Or whatever, you know. So it was easier. I mean, I've heard men and you know some women who do cheat, that it's harder to cheat now simply because of technology. You know, because everybody know you got your phone in your hand. If you ain't answering it, what can you say? You know, I mean, it's harder to get it, you know, cheat now than it was in my generation, simply because I mean in my time, because it was, you're more apt to know where. I mean, they even got applications where you can put in your significant other's phone where you know where they at all times. You know, whether they know you got it in their phone or not. So.
That is true.
Yeah. So
especially my phone users, they got that Find My iPhone. So, that done crushed a lot of relationships.
Right. So anyway, Boys to Men, I mean, she might have felt something was wrong, but he wasn't admitting to it. But he know they needed, you know, hey, we can work it out. You know, but you couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. Whereas the po Tank, he got caught. He got caught. So. He got caught. You know, so.
But what I will say that I liked about Tank's version is that he was not only taking accountability for his transgressions, he's also warning other men. You know, like how you said, not to go with it, not to do it. Yo, it's not worth it. You know, seeing the one that you love hurt over a girl that didn't mean anything to you. You know, so I think this is a perfect, you know, role model song for men of all generations, because I believe all our generations have this type of issue of where, you know, whether male or female, the temptation of, you know, going outside your relationship can, you know, sometimes get too strong, especially if, you know, you're going through an issue, you know, with your spouse or your significant other. So I believe like listening to this song can definitely, you know, help motivate, you know, the weak-hearted to basically either remain faithful or be like, yo, I probably can't be monogamous, so let me go ahead and let her go.
Yeah, because it's best to let her go instead of begging her to please don't go. So,
right, exactly.
And the lesson, of course, for this particular video is about monogamy. I wanted to speak on the lesson as far as monogamy because, of course, this song is talking about the bad side of it, in the sense that you know, monogamy is a lifestyle choice, just like any other lifestyle choice. I mean, it's a lot of people who have a monogamous nature. They're just like that, and then some people who just don't. I mean, they no matter what they do, they just can't be monogamous.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. But most people who can't be monogamous tend to want somebody who is, because they don't want nobody in their stuff, but they dipping in everybody else's stuff, not realizing how much they're hurting their own situation. Because I mean, just like the old folks always said, what's done in the dark will come to the light.
Always do.
Always do. Trust
Always
me,
do.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to close my eyes, but it's still blaring out like, yeah, here I am. Here I am.
Yeah.
He cheating. He cheating.
Because actually, in my situation, in my past, I wasn't even looking, for any proof or anything like that. Even though my intuition was telling me so, I didn't want to face it. But then my phone ringing with some girl asking me what is my number doing in her man's phone.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, who's your man? And she says my ex name, and I just had to start laughing. I just started laughing like, sweetie, I've been with this man for over a decade, and who are you actually? And so it's a lot of situations like that now where it's like, if you ask me if I believe in second chances, no, I honestly don't. If someone's unfaithful once, then that means that they don't have the tolerance to not give in to temptation. And with temptation always being around, that wouldn't be something that I would bank my heart on. Mm-hmm. I've done it in the past, and it always ended up with the same result. You take them back, it'll be good. They'll be on their best behavior for a couple of months, and then next thing you know, here comes some other female. So,
right. Yeah, because most people who cheat tend to be habitual cheaters. In my experience, being that I'm a Gen Xer now and I've gotten older, I thought that if I waited till I got older, maybe, I'd find somebody that was just too tired. Just too damn tired. Because, I mean, at one point, when do you get tired? Because, in my youth, I was like, I couldn't deal with it. I mean, some women are aware, that their spouse is cheating, or some men are aware that their spouse. I mean, some people are aware, but they have a lifestyle that they've grown accustomed to. So people just play those games, but I can't play the game. I never have. I guess I'm just I'm selfish that way. I just want to be the only one.
You're monogamous.
Yeah. So. So what the one other point I wanted to make was far as people who, of course, there is a lifestyle they call polygamy. That, of course, is not only just most people think of polygamy as a man with more than one woman, but there are also women who have more than one man. It's a lifestyle that people it's a lifestyle that's kind of frowned upon. Nobody wants to talk about it. But it is people practicing this lifestyle where they have more than one partner and everybody cool with it. I mean, instead of sharing your man and not knowing it, you sharing your man and knowing it, or you sharing your woman and knowing it. Nobody's getting busted. Nobody's catching people doing wrong and stuff like that, because everybody is aware. I believe that people who can't be monogamous need to sort of look for people on that same level that kind of believe in that kind of, but what's unfortunate is that most people who can't be monogamous tend to want a monogamous partner. And that's where the trouble starts. That's where people get killed. That's where people get hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean,
you could literally lose your life behind it.
Yeah, and that's because you want a monogamous partner, and that person ain't feeling it when they find out you with someone else, male or female. And a lot of people have lost their lives behind not wanting to be in a monogamous relationship. If you're in a monogamous relationship, I think that's the best protection for anyone, because if you know you're not doing nothing, the other person know they're not doing nothing, then I mean, you're just doing, together. That I mean, it's just a safer place to be versus you trying to, one person trying to sneak off and play with other people, because you never know what that other person capable of. And I've known cases that the other person have killed the cheater, because they couldn't stand the fact that they couldn't have them, that they end up taking their life, versus someone finding their spouse cheating and they take their life. I mean, so it's a dangerous game. I mean, they're making it kind of pretty by the Please Don't Go. I mean, it's a song. That's what music does. It makes things sound a little, put it to music. So it sounds a little, a little better, when it's put to music. But I mean, in actuality, these songs, are very sad songs, because it's people that obviously made a mistake, and now they're wanting that other person who didn't do bad or didn't do wrong to understand and not leave.
Right.
So drop a comment if you would leave. I mean, if you were in the situation, Boys to Men versus Tank, would you stay with Boys to Men, or would you leave? Leave Tank. I mean, it's two different situations.
Boys to Men would have got me about 5 years ago. They would have got me.
Right. I mean, because you don't really know what happened with
Right.
Boys to Men, but that's just kind of a song, that you could play to your, like if y'all just having little problems or whatever. It ain't really saying he cheated. He just saying don't go. But as far as Tank, I mean, that's very specific.
He did the most. Like, that's multiple people. Like, nah.
Yeah, and you listen to that song, you messed up.
Nah.
you really
ain't doing it.
You really messed up. So, so we're going to conclude that the lesson today, of course, was on monogamy, different lifestyles. If you want, about multiple partners, and whether or not you would condone fidelity. Would you leave or would you go? Okay, so drop a comment, let us know, and what some other second chance songs we know plenty of them. Trust me.
There's so many out here.
There's so many out here. I mean, but a lot of men, but
there's some women ones.
Yeah, it's a few women ones too. And like I say, we're gonna be putting both of them on the channel, discussing the aspect of the second chance, either way, and in different ways people have asked for second chances, and how I can say what forgiveness is what we're talking about on Second Chance Saturday. Okay.
And let me let you know ahead of time, I'm not a forgiving person, so team, go away right here. So thank you guys for joining us for another therapy session. It's been great. We saw that we've got more subscribers from after our intro, so we thank you guys for subscribing, and we ask those who haven't to please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you could get notifications of when we post our uploads. And that's been our therapy session. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.